Okay, last chunk of CSS is going to be our media queries, which is going to obviously change what happens when we look at the page in different devices. So our media queries, we will start with these can be written different ways. Probably the easiest developed a slur there. Okay, up to 700 pixels wide. Just to test it, I always like to throw in a background color just to make sure that our breakpoint is being hit. Let's throw in a body, of course. There we go. Now it's not mad at me. Okay. So, larger devices, normal, we hit 700 pixels wide. It goes to background color of yellow, so we know our breakpoint is being hit. One thing that we do is we're going to change our template areas when we get into a smaller width to a 2-column layout. So instead of 3-column like before, we're going to put the showcase on the top row. On the bottom row, we'll do our top box A, top box B. So here's our 3-column layout as before, and once we shrink to that point, must have a typo. Looking, grid template areas, showcase. Oh, sure enough, it's not just a top, it's a top container. There we go. My selector was wrong. We needed to target top container. There we go. Now you can see that this row here, which is the membership and pro membership, would drop below once you hit that breakpoint. So good. Then our showcase H1, which I believe is this one here, we're going to change the font size. Well, hard to see, so let's look at this. Showcase H1. Showcase H1. Your web presence. Oh, it's actually shrinking it. You can see it being bigger down to smaller. It's changing the font size to be a little bit smaller. The next thing we're going to do is on our unordered list, we're going to get these list items to be in a column instead of in a row. And so right now there's 4 fractions, and we're just going to make them 1 fractions. And the main nav, unordered lists, grid template columns 1 fraction. So you could see that gets 1 fraction per row. Same kind of thing with our info. Grid template columns 1 fraction. So our info is your business on the web with a paragraph. Right here. So that goes down to 1 column instead of 2. This used to be 2 columns right next to each other. And then finally, the buttons inside of the info. Change how that looks. Now if we inspect that, let's take a look at what is going on here. So display block, text align center, and margin auto. Without display block, we can't do these other items. So it's going to get us 1 fraction width. Display block is our 1 fraction. Text align center moves it over. Margin doesn't seem to be doing anything for us. So that's our 700 pixel media query. And the next one, even when we get a little bit smaller, with a max width 500 pixels, we're going to change our top container to be a single column. Grid template areas. Top box A, top box B. So here goes from 2 columns to 1 column. Actually, I believe it's this membership and pro membership. There it goes. So membership goes from 2 columns to 1 column once we break the 500 pixels. Because that was the showcase here. This was top box A, that's top box B. That gets it in 1 column. All right, that's the end of the custom website using the grid layout.